Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Don't say that yet. You don't know. Welcome to Make This Movie! A live brainstorming session where the best critics, writers, filmmakers, and creatives in the biz come together and make up a completely new movie on the fly. I'm your host, Gaby Dunn.
I'm your other host, Allison Raskin, and this week we will be making a brand new, original 80s sci-fi movie.
I could not be more excited.
I couldn't be less informed.
There's certain color schemes, there's certain costumes, music, editing, obviously. My absolute favorite part is the use of practical effects. The Thing is a great example, or Alien.
80s sci-fi is a very complex beast. I'm very excited to dive into it with our amazing guests this week.
This week we're welcoming Princess Weeks, aka MelinaPendulum on YouTube, a pop culture writer, co-host of PBS's It's Lit with Lindsay Ellis, and is currently working on her own novel about witches. She's here to make sure everyone knows that Akira is the best 80s sci-fi movie. Welcome, Princess.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
We are also joined by Sage Hyden. Sage is a writer and critic who runs the YouTube channel Just Right, where he makes video essays about storytelling. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Don't say that yet. You don't know.
Sage, so what is your favorite 80s sci-fi if Princess's is Akira?
Definitely, Blade Runner.
So we have some studio notes, some stuff that we need to follow. So in this movie, it actually has to take place during the 80s, and it must feature someone who's an icon, a politician, a celebrity. And then, unfortunately, we will not be able to have any aliens in this film, because in this series, Make This Movie, almost every movie's had an alien.
We are too into aliens.
I think we should start issue-based. What issue do we want our movie to take on?
Well, I think, where do we want our movie to take place in? Because I think if we pick up a location, then, the cause will, trickle down, to use 80s vernacular.
What about if we do DC?
Reagan. You said we have to set it during the 80s.
No, we are
And now we're putting it in DC?
What if Reagan's the famous person and he's also the villain?
What if he's a robot?
Okay.
What if he's Robo-Reagan? Somebody replaced Reagan with a robot, but nobody noticed.
But what if we do surgery where they put your brain in someone else's body, and that's the technology?
Yeah, it has to be a medical advancement has been made. And that medical advancement is that you can do brain transplants.
There could also be a thing where rich people pay poor people for their bodies. So, these 60-year-old men are paying poor 20-year-old guys to take their body. And so then we get some interesting classism stuff too.
So who's our protagonist?
I think it's got to be somebody whose family member was swapped and they were told that the body they were swapping into was healthy, but really it had terminal cancer and they immediately died.
Oh, and they hid that was true.
They hid that it was terminally ill,
yeah.
And so the protagonist, female or male, now really wants to stop this thing from happening.
So they want to switch bodies with Reagan so that they can pass the policy that'll end this.
Let's figure out who we want our protagonist to be, what their name is, and what actor we want playing them.
I kind of want to do Kurt as a Kurt Russell homage.
Who do we see playing Kurt?
Stephanie Beatriz. Tough, wears leather jacket, you know what I mean?
And so maybe what she does is what we were talking about, where she actually pretends to be a very conservative person and sort of rises within the ranks of conservatism in order to get a meeting with Reagan, in order to kidnap Reagan to brain swap.
There has to be a rogue team of people who are on the underground, we destroy, led by a woman. For some reason I see the leader of the Rascals being Gemma Chan.
The head of the Rascals is Beans.
Okay, so the first in command is a woman, and then the second in command is Harry Styles.
And so is Harry Styles maybe an 80-year-old man who bought a young boy's body and now feels really guilty about it?
Mm-hmm.
And so what do we want to name Harry Styles' character?
I feel like this has got to be a nickname too, right? It's got to be Snake or Cloak or,
I like Cloak.
Cloak is fun.
Cloak is fun.
And so maybe Cloak is still rich. So Cloak is sort of funding their operation.
Guilt money.
We need a scientist. A surgeon, I mean. A surgeon.
Yeah.
A surgeon.
I was gonna say Giancarlo Esposito.
And what is his name gonna be, like Scalpel or something?
Dr.
Yeah,
Scalpel.
they're all nouns. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Beans has maybe been collecting people that she thinks will help the cause. So she's found Cloak for the money. She's found Dr. Scalpel for surgery, and then she now finds Kurt, because Kurt is going to go undercover as a conservative who thinks that women should just be in the home in order to get FaceTime with Reagan so that they can kidnap Reagan and perform surgery. First of all, what the hell is this movie called?
Gray matter. What do you call brains?
I like gray matter because
Gray
it's
matter
like,
is very.
you know, like,
Or gray
is
matters.
this good? Is this bad? Like,
Can I suggest an alternative title?
yes.
What?
Reaganomics.
Okay, what if it's gray matters : Reaganomics?
Reaganomics.
Yeah.
I love that.
In a world where technology has enabled the controversial practice of brain swapping, the poor grow poorer and the rich live longer. This is Reagan's America. Confronted with desperation, those at the bottom ring of society are selling their bodies to house the brains of an aging but powerful ruling class. After losing her own sister to a key establishment player, Kurt joins an underground project to end this inhumane practice once and for all. But it will require one final swap with Ronald Reagan himself. Join Kurt and the renegade army as they infiltrate the conservative stronghold to take back what should have never been given. This is Gray Matter.
This was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Where can people find your stuff and follow you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @WeeksPrincess and on my YouTube channel, MelinaPendulum.
And Sage, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at Sage Hyden. Go to my YouTube channel, Just Right.
Thank you guys both, and thank you all at home for watching this episode of Make This Movie. Be sure to subscribe to the Sundance TV YouTube channel and hit the bell so you'll know next time we post an episode of Make This Movie.
And let us know what other brain swaps you would have done within this plot line.
See you next week!
Bye!